Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of the Para Perspective with me, Leah, your host. I am a paraprofessional special ed assistant at the School District of Philadelphia, and this is the Para Perspective, real talk for Paras. In this podcast, we are going to talk about all things para. So I am going to give you tips and ideas on how to be wonderful at your job, small group instructions, ideas on how to create interesting lessons, and of course, inspirational thoughts of the day, because, we all need a pick me up every once in a while. And I am so excited that you're here. You can always reach out to me at parapowerphilly@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page called Parapower, and our Instagram where we talk about behind the scenes and all the fun stuff about us is at We Parapower. And of course, our YouTube channel, which you're probably listening to, watching if you're nice, and if you want to check it out every once in a while, it is Parapower Philly. So I hope that you enjoy yourself and come away with some things. And please like, comment, subscribe, and share. All right, guys, we are going to jump right into stuff. So right this minute, I am going to give you the para tip of the week. So what tip we can use for better time management in our small groups, participation in Zoom, which we are all having trouble with. That's what today's lesson. That's what our tip is. All right, we're still managing time. Still having a problem with that, even me. I am. Okay, so this week's tip is getting our children, all children, to manage how to pace themselves. So what you could do, what I'm going to try, is take an activity and tell how long it should take them to finish the activity. So, like, this assignment should take you 20 minutes. It's short, but it's a lot of information packed in there, but it should take you 20 minutes to do it. It helps to prevent them rushing, and it helps them from procrastinating. Look, I am a procrastinator of the worst order, so I'm a procrastinator, so I will wait till the last 10 minutes to shove all the information in there. But we don't want them to be like me. We want them to take their time and rush through it and, not give it their all. Just throw the answers on the page or, throw the answer on the Google form and go on with life. And that way also gives them time to stop, review what they did, check their answers, and then hand it in. It also gives children time who feel that they're working too slow. They know their limit, and it gives them time to pace themselves, be able to pick themselves up a little bit, or ask for more time. Because sometimes you're a little slow with your writing. You need a little bit more time, but it gives them a chance to pace themselves, and make sure they have what they need. And be able to advocate for more time, because that is an important skill to have. Now it is time to get to the main topic of the week. Abolitionist educators. So for this week, all right, so on to the main topic, how not to be that para down the hall. And last week discussed what that para is. This week, we're going to talk about the steps we're going to start with the step 1. How not to be that para. Number 1 and most important, check your privilege. And you're like, girl, what are you talking about? Everyone has privilege. You have white privilege, you have privilege of place, everybody has privilege. Even your homegirl right here. I have privilege. And I really had to sit down and think about this. And I did a interview with the Working Families Party, and we were talking about food deserts. And I realized that that was part of my privilege. My privilege was I had access to fresh fruits and vegetables. I knew how to start a garden because that's what my grandfather did. I had the privilege of going places that were not in Philly. Like every summer, I had the privilege of going to Camp Nazarene, which is in Lahaska, Pennsylvania, which is outside in I always call it Buckingham. Is it Buckingham? Bucks County, basically. And I would spend my summers out there, learn how to swim. I learned how to calligraphy. I learned basketball, tennis, which I still love, volleyball. I learned how, these are climb a mountain, how to find myself when I'm lost. Still get lost. But that's my privilege. And I had to learn to check my own. So when you're checking your privilege, you can not only you check your privilege, you use your privilege to help other paras or help your students build relationships so they can get there. They can reach back and help the person behind them, or they have the opportunity to experience something that you've experienced. So check your privilege. As paras, most times we live and work in the communities that we serve. And we ain't all the same. And we need to understand that our children face different things than we did. And while we have intersectionality, we still have privilege. Like even if it's something as simple as going on class trips. So a lot of times, in Philly, back in the 80s, you had your trips every year. Zoo, Franklin Institute, Art Museum, the African American History Museum. You went on these trips of natural history all of the time, every year, multiple times during the year. You would go on these trips. About the 90s, 2000s, they start cutting them out. And then we had music. Remember, we had music and art, and then all of a sudden they cut them out. And that is a privilege. And that is the privilege of knowing. And as a para and as an adult, we have to check our privilege. We can't say, oh, I can't believe you didn't do that. Oh my God. What? Your mom didn't do that? What? Oh, no wonder you act like that. No, you don't want to do all that, okay? That's when you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because I've caught myself doing that myself. I've caught myself saying, you ain't been where? What? And I got to go, there. No. No. That's your privilege talking. And I may not be able to take them out on trips, but I can show them those places. I can show them where, how to access those things, or I can help explain the different world around them, because I've always told my son and my sisters and my nephews and my niece, the world is larger than the four corners of your neighborhood. And your four corners is where you live, where you go to church, where you go to school, where you shop. Those are your four corners of your neighborhood. Live, practice your religion, if you have one, where you shop, where you go to school. Okay, so my world is much larger than that. My son's world is much larger than that. I've been to Disney World six times, and Debbie's friends used to say that I was a low-key queen pin because there was no way that we would go to Disney World that many times. But that was something I wanted. And I would make those steps to make sure that he got to do those things, because I like to travel and I always wanted to travel and be paid for it. So I made the sacrifice to make sure that, we travel. And by checking your privilege, you're not looking down on your students. You're not thinking that they are somehow poorer than you are and they'll never get that. It's having empathy that they have not experienced the same things that you have. And maybe you can listen to their experiences, listen to what things they have, and you can find out ways to, widen their world. Or, so one of my students, I talk about my niece and my nephew all the time because they both have autism. They're both autistic. And her privilege is she's never been in a self-contained classroom. And my students always, one of my students always asks, well, Miss Leah, why has she never been in an autistic classroom? I said, she's never even known it. And she hasn't known about an autistic support classroom because that is her privilege. She had myself, my other sister, and my mom. We're all educators, and I am a researcher by nature. So her brother has autism. He's autistic too, and he's like 8 years older than her. So some of the things that she had started to show, we had already recognized because we had gone through those steps with her brother. And again, her privilege is that my niece has 3 educators in her family, and we're able to adapt and put programs in ourselves at home for her so that she can maneuver and step out in the world, and she's not kept in a bubble. She is, but she's not. So that is her privilege. So when you check your privilege, you're going to make sure that you don't think somebody's less than you are because they haven't experienced what you've experienced. And you really have to look deep inside. You have to put your pride away and not feel that this is an attack on you and that someone's attacking you for the things that you've had or you were able to do. It is more like you understanding that people come from different places and different spaces and different circumstances, and your story is not the same as someone else's story, and you cannot put your experiences in their space and feel that because they don't have something or they have not experienced something that is something wrong with that person. Okay, that is checking your privilege. That is it. I don't know how to explain it, but that is it. It's understanding that our children experience, it's a different world. It's a new world. Some things they have, some things we don't have. And I like Sankofa. Sankofa means go back, learn, and try it again. So we have to understand that our privilege, even we may be poor, because listen, that our paychecks are tiny, but there are things that we have experienced and that we've seen that our children have not seen, and places that we've gone that our children have not, or are even our co-workers. We have to watch what we say. Well, not watch what we say. Be honest, but don't look down on them. I keep saying look down because that's basically what it is. Don't look down on them because of what they have not or did not do. That's how you start. Step 1, check your privilege. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I want to leave y'all with this inspirational thought of the week. Don't worry, I'm going to put more on, but I want to leave you with this one from my favorite book, of course, which is The ABCs of Education. G is for GPS. Me and GPS have issues. I always get lost. It's amazing. Just amazing. But anyway, if your students had to describe their experience in your class using only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, what would you want those words to be? Your answer is your destination. Posting mine, I would like interesting, fun, useful, thoughtful, freeing. Okay, so to get where you want to go, you need a precise destination. Commit to your 5 words and use your GPS. Again, my family gets lost with GPS, but we're going to go with this one. Okay. Your lessons, units, and the current reality of your classroom. I can get with that because y'all know how horrible it is. Okay, we didn't talk about this in me and lessons. Okay, so we're going to use those things to accurately gauge our current location and map out our course. Okay, ask yourself, would students use the 5 words you chose? If not, recalculate, redo it. It's time to adjust your route and get back on course. Thank you guys for listening or watching. I am so happy that you're here and you're taking part in this journey with me. And let's go back over some things. Recap on is our big topic, which is how not to be that para down the end of the hallway, because step 1 we went over was checking our privilege, and how important it is to check yourself before you wreck yourself. And in the next episode, we're going to go to step 2. Step 2 is always be learning, because it is important that we go beyond what our school district mandates for us for PD. And I hope you're here. I hope you come back. My email address is parapowerphilly@gmail.com. And please visit us at Facebook on our Parapower page or at We Parapower. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode so we can reach out to more paras, and we can have fun talking. Bye, guys.